We use salt cod, which is the way, probably the most effective way of preserving fish. I mean, when cod was plentiful back in when people started coming over from Europe, the Vikings back in the 1400s, to the Basques, to the Spaniards, to the French, to the English, everybody came to get cod so they could bring it back. And salting it was their way to feeding the masses. It fed Europe. It fed all the slaves down in the lower Caribbean.
So you start with boiling and mashing potatoes?
Yeah, it's a piece of salted cod that we boil to get some of the salt out, which is all the method that they've used to preserve it. So now that has to come out in order to make it palatable. We use some of that to boil the potatoes, and on the side we're doing celery and onions and butter. It's really just 5 ingredients: fish, potatoes, celery, onion, and butter. Really simple, just like Grandma used to make. Well, there's some nice big pieces of it like that that need to be desalted, so we just kind of soften them up a little bit. So that's salted out. And there we're boiling potatoes. Yeah, celery and a nice, probably a full onion here. Pat of butter. I'm going to let that soften up and soak a little bit. That's a little ways away from where we need it. I think really like getting some more of that salt out of there. The more water you put in this, better chance of getting all that salt out. Salt does taste good, but not that good for you, so they say. So let's do that. Put that in what we're going to do, we're going to need to mash it in one of these big boys here. Water. And then we're going to do something about the potatoes. Check them out for stiffness. Check out the doneness. Ooh, soft. Wish I'd known they were done. Anybody need a potato facial? Alright, here we go. Potatoes that need to get mashed. Celery, onions, and potatoes. Nice, and that gets kind of folded into the mix. So now we squeeze the water out. That's not going to help the texture at all when it hits the pan. And then you give it one last massage to get rid of the bigger chunks that are holding more of the salt, so we make them smaller. Break them up. It's got a great chewy texture to it. Now you're eating something that'll last. You have a bite of this.
So what other kind of fish that you generally use for fish cakes?
I think the best one is this salted one, and you don't see too many other fishes being salted because cod happens to have the right amount of non-fat to it. Very lean, not oily, and that lends itself to being salted and preserved very well, so that once it's heavily salted, moisture is out and there's nothing left in there to, you know, begin the decaying process of oils, etc. that are still remain behind. Some of these, they smoke it, they salt it. There's a lot of smoked fish, but this doesn't have the, they don't have the shelf life of a salted cod. People were forced to salt the mackerel years and years ago too. That was a good, when mackerel was plentiful in the world, and that was a big staple for New England. Salted mackerel and potatoes. They just sat there and got the salt out. A lot of things went with potatoes. Dairy, potatoes, and fish. That was a mainstay of the New England fare, I'll tell you. If anybody wants a bite to experience what they would be. You kind of have to imagine what they are in a patty, and then browned up in the skillet with a nice little crusty brown coat with more butter involved. Yummy. Definitely one of the best breakfasts there is a fish cake and a couple of poached eggs on the side or something. You can do a little bit of meat, bacon would be good, but yeah, that fish cake and eggs, really nice. So that's it. We're cooking and cleaning and waiting for the world to show up around here.
Yeah.
Sometimes it takes a while.